But of course, by getting a win here, you go directly into the quarterfinals. I love this round, especially when you got conditions like this. Right now, with this wind kind of turning more westerly, which was right on cue, courtesy of Surfline telling us that that wind was going to switch. Take a look here. Quick exchanges by Matt Wilkinson. Again, you can see that fluff now. It's going to be adding. It's coming now kind of over the left of the screen, coming back onshore.
Matt Wilkinson live action now. So having a couple of early cracks at it with that wind picking up just a little bit. His backhand approach coming back into flavour with the judges here at Snapper Rocks. And already on his way to his best result in 7 events. It's the back half of last season, despite the huge start, Pete, was a nightmare for Wilco. He couldn't get out of the 3rd round after that finals appearance in Fiji. Just on 22.5 minutes to go here, some movement at the takeoff zone. De Souza having a look at his first ride. So a little more patient than his rivals. Let's see if it pays off for him. Very strong on the first turn. Goes to that rail, not overcommitting, wants to keep some speed for this move. And this has been a solid ride for De Souza. Bringing this one through to the inside now. So getting some major turns on the outside, manages to deal with this flat water better than just about any competitor on the tour. Widens that stance, getting into that mode, pumping his board. No payoff on the inside on this occasion, but Adriano will be pretty happy that he waited for that one.
Second wave of the set, let the first one go by. All of a sudden that lineup kind of cleans up. That draw, it pulled that wave. The first wave sucked it down the bank, and it had that nice vertical wall the entire way. He was able to kind of line up each and every bottom turn, mixed right with a nice big canvas there for him. It's going to be a big score for Adriano, and that patience, as you said, paid off. You know, he waited it out and ended up with priority. But see how this wave stood up all the way through. It really never really had that flat spot. It didn't go into that little Marley section, but it didn't have to, because 3 major turns already into another 4th, and you can see the wave is smoother than those earlier ones with all the chops on the face. Just veteran status for Adriano de Souza, being able to choose that wave, and there's no errors whatsoever on it.
He's definitely here to perform in 2017.
Lifelong goal that it's hard to get motivated again for the next season.
Well, a 7.5 on his first wave, and now looking for a backup score to put the pressure on early here. Doesn't ride out of the reverse. 20 minutes to go. A great start to the heat for De Souza. Matt Wilkinson looking for a 3.68.
And yeah, I just want to thank the doctors and back in Brazil and Portugal as well. I've been talking to them, and they have been helping me. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm stoked to that he win.
Well, great job by the medical staff. It's about 9 p.m. back at home. Can you give us some words in Portuguese for everyone watching at home?
Obrigado a todos pelas mensagens positivas. Estou super feliz de ter passado a minha bateria.
Thanks very much, Kaipo. Now we'll check out Matt Wilkinson on the backhand here. Has really been pushing hard off the bottom. Throwing some nice backhand snaps at us. 17.5 minutes to go here as he rolls this one right through to the inside. See, the conditions have changed considerably out there, Pete. That wind's really kicked up.
Yeah, I was keeping the fingers crossed that it wasn't going to get too strong, but it has picked up in intensity, making that face a little bit more wonky. You know, looking forward, you know, the winds are going to be giving us some of these funky periods. You know, it does change as we watch the replay here. So he's got to place his moves perfectly because of all that chop on the face. You don't want it to grab your rails. And also, you know, kind of making sense of the lineup by maybe picking those wave number 2 if you can. I mean, sometimes you just got to make it happen. You got 3 guys in the water. They're fiending for waves. Maybe you don't have priority.
Andino having a look at this one on the inside. And he's building speed for something big here. Nice carve. and then kicks that tail. Did well to regain control, and he's setting up for more on the inside. Flicks this one out to the flats. Nice. He is one of the best at sticking those moves.
Little point.
Pointing for the ski, maybe? Or was that just a little claim?
I think that was a little off-the-hip shooter. You know, that was a nice wave. You know, I think that, again, you see him picking up all the speed. You think something big's coming, but he kind of surprised us with that big carve, but still did have that innovation. Smaller inside wave, but again, you saw down the line was going to have this open wall. So he shows us some variety there, chucks the fins, rides, fakie, he's engaged that rail to keep the momentum going down, almost used it to keep the speed going, and then there, punches it, hits it late too. He's so good at that when he hits it late to be able to pop out into the flats. And his consistency in making those types of moves, very high. So he was very confident that he was going to do that. You see the fins there, and riding backwards with his rail, but this is that late hit. See, the lip's already down, but what that does is it projects him out to the flats. You see everything shift forward, especially that front foot all the way to the front. And then when he starts to go for the landing, you see the back foot come above the pad. So everything lands in the center of the board, keeping that tail above the water so he doesn't stuff the tail and rotate out of it super quick. That's always kind of unique too. He doesn't...
Decent number on a small wall, but here's the danger for Kolohe. Adriano's been much better with his wave selection, and he has got the single high score of this heat so far. So Adriano only looking for a 3.1 to get back into the lead. Behind him, Matt Wilkinson. Adriano bashing away on the inside. Loves to get those fins above the lip. That good compact style, but the ability to really open up on the green wall with some nice rail turns. When that wave offers up those opportunities. De Souza just juicing this wave now, adding points wherever he can. But you can bash away on those smaller rides. Some guys like to do it.
Is going to give it 110% all the way from beginning to end. So Wilco on the back end here, he had a pretty good score, ended up with a 6.77 on his earlier wave, and this one turns out to be a pretty good wave as well. Nice cutbacks. Again, so hard to surf with all of that bump on the face, but he just motors right through it, connecting with the lip, critical moves. Always a lot of variety. So two good waves here, great exchange. You know, it'd be tough psychologically to have the conditions completely change right before your heat. You know, go from that nice, beautiful conditions, all of a sudden it's going to be nice and choppy, but you have to make those adjustments. It's Mother Nature. See again, here's Adriano. This wave, Cuddy's really, first wave of the set, you know, utilized priority here, and you said about his wave choice, he did get those strong turns on the outside, and I think that's why he made the choice to go. But that it did slow up midsection and then picks back up again here this final section. But he'll be adding that 7.33. But this is an important exchange to see who's going to take the lead.
Big mix-up from Adriano too on the inside as far as his moves are concerned. Really aware that the judges don't want to see you get too repetitive as you hammer that inside section. Easy to do when that wave cups out.
Doing heats.
Well, we've got some big scores coming through for Matt Wilkinson, but we'll focus our attention on Andino. He gets one of his biggest rides yet and lays into that first turn. Has that midsection of this ride where he's just trying to maintain flow, stay back with that white water, and not miss that first steep section that stands up on the inside. It looks like he's going to go to the air again here. He does, throws the reverse. And as smooth as you like on the landing, he's got more to work with down the line, bashing away at this wall. Going to some wraps now. And again, gets an opportunity
that is
to
so
chuck the tail.
Hard to do. His legs were burning at that point. He's already ridden some long waves. But to do that and have pop at the end, that was amazing.
We saw Dino Andino on screen. And John Florence now making his way through the competitors area. He's got a tough draw up against Italo Ferreira. He's dropped a 10-point ride. Joel Parkinson's been putting bigger numbers up than John Florence. So this would be, you'd have to say, a huge test for John. He wants to get back to the quarterfinals and better.
Well, just by the looks, if you can see in this heat, I think that we'll see John kind of take to the air. I think he's so good in the air that this is perfect wins for it.
Should be a big score, this one, Pete.
I would agree. I mean, he had the size of the wave is there. He had that really strong turn on the outside. 2 big airs on the inside, a lot of variety. I mean, here, this is the slow period, but you know what? It had a crease in it, so you knew that it was going to build back up again, and it wasn't like you just stood there. But this, so hard to do and land in the flats and spin it and still fly down the line, right? I mean, everyone else would be laying back and then somehow have the energy, do a carve like that, and then get popped for another air. I mean, you could tell there was a little bit of fatigue there, but not that much. That was the second wave of the set.
They have been digging that backhand approach, and Adriano de Souza so good when he is forced to respond. Definitely has those airs that he can go to. But this wave has a lot of dead water in that midsection. Now he's back onto that steep face. Clean float there. Again, showing a lot of variety, but needs more major turns on the inside to get himself an excellent score. A critical move there, but almost mistimed it, you'd have to say. As this one comes to an end on the inside, a great heat between 3 form surfers.
And all of them are now picking up their game. You know, it seemed like Adriano was the guy that for that first third of the heat, then Wilco putting his time in, and now Kolohe going to get his best ride. For Kolohe is what affected his score. As you see the air reverse outside, he did the grab. You can see he gets that frontside grab. But I love how he was able to land compressed and then never really had to recover. He just compressed and stayed into a bottom turn. This was a difficult section. He's chasing it the whole time, and so much bump and lump on the face, and he's just smoothly gliding through it. That critical turn there somehow keeps it together. So he's trying to better a 6.63. I would say, looking at it, that he will, but I don't know if it's going to go quite the 7.88 to take back the lead.
5.5 minutes remaining as we see Adriano's last ride. Yet to see those scores drop. And we'll give you the update on that number after the break. Welcome back to the show. We're on the lookout for our first quarter-finalist here. Adriano de Souza is chasing a score, throws an air, but can't quite stay on his feet. Matt Wilkinson still holding on to the lead, and he's got priority. I'll tell you what, Peter Mel, it's been another great start to the year for Glenn Hall, the super coach. He's got 3 surfers into the 4th round already. As we see De Souza up once again, throwing an air there. He has those big go-to aerials that he can count on, so he could still turn this with a single maneuver. A 7.08 is what he needs. As we see Adriano having another crack at a wave. So no takers this one, just that wind playing a big part in that fall. Andino having a look at this one, but Matt Wilkinson utilises his priority.
Oh. Wow, how's that at the end?
Pretty crafty these days, Wilco, isn't he? Kolohe's going to have to straighten out.
Yeah.
So he kicked out, and he's going to get back to that takeoff zone. Here he goes, though, with 50 seconds to go. Let's see if he can put it out of reach of Andino and De Souza. Looking to improve on a 6.77 here. Nice backhand snap there. This wave's starting to steepen. Not too many bumps on the face too. Wilco has a nice wall to work with. And stringing those moves together quite well at the moment. And looking for a solid finish here on the inside. And he's so good at flattening that board out, sliding that tail. And this wave just keeps providing down the line. And the surfer from the Central Coast, now living just down the road at Suffolk Park, Byron Bay, has just finished off another strong ride. The heat has come to a close. Not sure we saw Andino or De Souza out the back, Pete, get another ride.
I don't think they did. But I do feel like that wave will probably improve on the 677, so he will most likely, but very crafty at the end, is like you said. I mean, I'd love to take another look at that just to see how close, but there it is. So if you can see just before that, but is this an interference? That's the question, right? Did Kolohe affect the ride there? I mean, Wilco just kicked out, but I mean, it's really no harm, no foul at this point, because he can just get that wind up and project, and he gets loose out of the lip just like that, and that pendulum is just swinging back and forth.
So Matt Wilkinson progressing through to the quarterfinals. There was an interference there. Dave Shipley joins us, a WSL judge with many years experience, head judge on the Women's Championship Tour. Dave, thanks for joining us. Just give us a bit of a rundown on what unfolded in the final stages there.
Well, unfortunately, we ended up with a priority interference. Red getting the call. He basically just continued his progression towards White a little bit too long. White was, pretty clever, I guess, to wait and take off, and unfortunately, we have to make a call on that.
So with a priority interference, Kolohe loses an entire score. Is that correct?
Yeah, he does lose an entire score, and again, with White holding priority, then he's got full right away to the wave, and he basically, was hindered on the bottom turn, and call was made.
Well, thank you, Dave, for your insights, and great to have you back out here in Australia.